भज मन लक्ष्मी नारायण 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 भज मन लक्ष्मी नारायण 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 भज मन लक्ष्मी नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण 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 भज मन लक्ष्मी नारायण 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 भज मन लक्ष्मी नारायण
Hari Om. Welcome all of you to this first evening session of Swami Ishwarananda's Yajna. Just give you a brief introduction about him. He used to work at Chinmaya Mission Bangalore as secretary, and then after having been inspired by Pujya Gurudev and with the guidance of Swami Brahmananji, he left that field of software engineering which he was working in, and he joined Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Mumbai in 1991. There he completed the Brahmachari training course in 1993, and he was given the name Brahmachari Someshwar Chaitanya. Then he served in different Chinmaya Mission centers such as Bangalore, Calcutta, and eventually as resident Acharya of Chinmaya Mission Los Angeles. And in February 2000, he was given the Sannyasa Diksha by Pujya Swami Tejomananji, and he was named Swami Ishwarananda Saraswati. And he served the mission in Los Angeles until 2001. Then he was appointed Acharya of Sandipani Sadhanalaya for the next Brahmachari course, Brahmachari batch from 2002 to 2004. He's a dynamic speaker, and he's given many talks on Vedanta and stress management and other related fields. He comes from Kerala and is fluent in Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, and of course English. And currently he's serving as the Acharya of the Tustin Center in Southern California. So let's welcome Swamiji.
हर हर शिव शिवा शंभो शंकरा हर हर शिव शिवा शंभो शंकरा गौरी मनोहरा चंद्र कलाधरा गौरी मनोहरा चंद्र कलाधरा हर हर शिव शिवा शंभो शंकरा हाला हलधरा विभूति सुंदरा हाला हलधरा विभूति सुंदरा गंगा जटाधरा गौरी ಗಂಗಜಟಾಧರ ಗೌರಿ ಮನೋಹರ ಶೈಲಗಿರೀಶ್ವರ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಶೈಲಗಿರೀಶ್ವರ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಹರ ಹರ ಶಿವ ಶಿವ ಶಂಭೋ ಶಂಕರ ಹರ ಹರ ಶಿವ ಶಿವ ಶಂಭೋ ಶಂಕರ ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಹರಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಹರಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಓಂ ನಮಃ ಶಿವಾಯ ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. ಶಿವಾಯ ನಮಃ ಓಂ. सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. First and last verse of Geeta Dhyanam. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बत्वामनुसन्तधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. Today we are starting the essence of Geeta titled as Self-Discovery, a Path to Perfection. Many of you might have heard many lectures on Bhagavad Gita from Gurudev, from Guruji and many other Acharyas, including your own resident Acharya here. So now what is new about the whole thing? Any text, for that matter, from the Hindu origin philosophy is not bound by any time. It is not a set of instructions given to someone to take care of a particular situation, and that is the difference between an instruction and an inspiration. Instructions are given for a particular situation to a set of people to take care of that particular problem. Whereas inspirations are not for any period of time or any set of individuals. This is the essential difference between the Semitic religious texts and the Hindu scriptures. They are not bound by time, place, or situation. Any period of time of the history of the humankind, past, present, or future, any set of people belong to any culture or faith or color or race, any particular situation in which they are, these teachings are applicable. Therefore, the Vedanta or the general philosophy of Hinduism is referred as Sanatana Dharma. The very word Sanatanam means in Sanskrit Sana and Atanam. Many of you have come across this word but may not know the meaning. Hinduism, as we call it today, did not exist in this shape in the past. It was not a religion. The idea that a religion came only when other religions entered into this land of Bharat. Till then, there was no concept of religion. Religion essentially is a concept or view about your faith on God or godly concepts. That there was a creator, and the creator created this universe, and we are all part of this creation, and he rules over us, he decides our destiny. All these concepts are alien to Sanatana Dharma. According to Sanatana Dharmic scriptures, the creation never began at some point of time. It's a continuous, ongoing affair. And therefore, there was no rule, a particular law applied to the whole creation. It's a constant changing factor. Number one, God does not rule us. He doesn't say, if you do this, you will perish. If you do this, you will go to heaven. Sanatana Dharma, for that matter, is values to be practiced in our life. Sana means sada, always. Atanam means spread. Atanoti in Sanskrit means to spread. So, Sanatanam is always prevalent, ever eternal. Dharma, values, duties, responsibilities. So, the Sanatana Dharma means duties, responsibilities, values, principles applicable at all time to all people in all situations. Religion as such is a way of looking at the world and God and oneself. And most of the Semitic religions have created this concept that we are created and the Lord is the creator, and all we have to do as created beings are to obey and abide by the instructions given by the Lord through His commandments, and as our gratitude towards Him for having created us as well as the world is to worship Him, adore Him, praise Him, confess to Him. Sanatana Dharma does not talk in that way. You are responsible for your life. Though in the early stages of this evolution of Sanatana Dharma, there were concepts of God being the absolute, and there are many, many hymns you will find in the Vedic lore about this. But when the philosophy began to flourish, when the discussions of the higher concepts started taking place between the teacher and the taught, they really forsake all these earlier misconceptions. You will not find such ideas discussed in Upanishads. Our Gurudev calls it as the PhD in religion. Because when it comes to PhD, of course, in today's PhD is permanent head damage. But PhD of Vedanta, philosophy, is not head damage, head manage it is. How to manage your head. So in that discussion, it is not this teacher instructing these individual students. He was only inspiring them. As even we see in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna denies that He is the absolute. He doesn't say that I am the one who is going to decide your destiny. No. From the beginning till the end, He maintains the point that you are responsible for who you are. Many places, as we will see in the selected verses which you have in front of you, these verses will show to you that there is an openness and democracy in this teaching. That the teacher is not forcing his idea down the throat of the student. He constantly tells, think about it. Even as you might have heard from Gurudev, many times when he would end the talk with, think. You think yourself. Do not listen to me or accept me because I am having a long beard. Longer the beard, greater should be your doubt. He would say. Do not therefore believe just because I said to you. Now that's why I cut it down, so you don't. So longer the beard, greater should be your doubt. It is not necessary that you should blindly, unthinkingly, unintelligently follow whatever I say. Whatever ideas I present forth, you think, and if it is practical, take it. If it is impractical, throw it out. So, in Geeta also we find that Bhagavan himself says, I am not responsible for who you are, what you are. Uddhared atmana atmanam na atmanam avasadhet. Lift yourself by yourself. You can alone do it. Towards the end also, yada ichchasi tada kuru. Whatever you think right, you do it. The Mahabharata is only an excuse for him to give this great philosophy to his student. He didn't choose the student chose him. He did not say, Arjuna, now I am going to tell you, please listen to me. He was put in a situation where Arjuna cannot but seek help. So, as we begin this text, this set of verses here, first itself I caution you, I am not going to finish this. So don't expect it to, Swamiji, you are not finished, at least even one, please move ahead. No, I am not going to do this. Because I believe in understanding than covering a particular subject. So in this text which we have as a collection of verses from all the chapters, the topic is, as we see, essence of Geeta, path to perfection. Today's world of science is also interested in discovering perfection in the material world. Every scientist who is in any research or science research and what's called R&D, what do they try to do? What are they trying to achieve? Removal of errors. Is it not that is called perfection? Go on fine-tuning in any field, whether it is dance or music or art or science. In all these fields, perfection is achieved by detecting the errors first and finding the ways and means to reduce errors, if not eliminate it completely. Then only the desired result can be achieved. If there are bugs in the system, then you may not be able to predict even the result. So is here in our individual perfection. We have to first of all detect what are the imperfections we have, and unless we first of all detect them, get convinced that these imperfections are there, then we have to find the ways and means to overcome them. Therefore, the whole of Bhagavad Gita is to eliminate our imperfections or impurities, misunderstandings, and thereby achieve a self-perfection which we alone can really enjoy. And because we enjoy our own inner self-perfection, surely the world will benefit. Just like as an artist, a singer or a dancer, when he or she becomes more and more perfect in its own performance, not only that fellow enjoys in performing that particular skill, but the audience or the people who are benefiting out of it also equally participate in that. Especially when you go to Hindustani music or Carnatic classical music. I personally do not have any knowledge of it, so I consider myself as a torture sometimes. Because they go into alapana, avarohana, arohana. You just don't know what is happening there. I mean, pardon me because I do not know. So many of you may be good, admirers. So, but the people who are involved in that, they understand all these various nuances of any skill, and they enjoy more and more. In the same way, when I, in my own personal life, found my own inner imperfections, and if I overcome them, not only I become a source of joy to myself, but at the same time, my company, my presence will also make others around me more and more happy. As Gurudev would say, if you can't enjoy your own company, why inflict it on others? We do. First of all, we are unhappy, and we make sure that anybody around us enjoy the same thing. So we have to first of all find our own bliss within. Just like a small child, which is a few months old or so, how it is so, freely moving around, enjoying, jumping around, and looking at the child, you also are happy, at least for a moment. Taking the child and trying to, fondle him, etc. Right? You do it because the joy which you derive from the child is not polluted. It's not that child is, trying to make you happy. It is just happy. In the same way, when a person finds the inner peace and bliss, he needs no external support for it. And such a person, when in his company, in her company, others also will enjoy their bliss. This is what we find in the company of the Mahatmas. We are not enjoying their company, we are enjoying our company. Mind has become so peaceful, joyful in that company of these Mahatmas. And then when we carry that inspiration in our life, probably we may discover. That's what we have experienced with our own Gurudev and many other Mahatmas. So the inner perfection is the main theme of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Krishna never takes responsibility for the emancipation of Arjuna's spiritual life. He always maintains this, that you are responsible for it. That is why people don't come to Vedanta. You know, if somebody says, I will take care of you, you better go to them. You go to somebody, some Mahatma, and says that, okay, take this particular thing, go on. Like you go to a doctor, he says, I am responsible for your sickness, you take this medicine, and you eat that, and you will be all right. We want quick fix, even in spirituality. I am angry, I am upset, I have inner, I have so many agitations in my mind. You tell me, give me something where I will become quiet. These quick fixes is what people want. But when Vedanta, when it comes, it is for the intelligent people. And they say, you are going to take care of your problem. For unless you take care of your problem, you can never be sure that it won't repeat again. Gurudev used to say that I am not a donkey, I will not carry you. You are to take care of your life. I may solve a problem today, and tomorrow I cannot assure you that you will not get the problem again. So therefore, very few people really come to listen to Vedanta. And among those few also, most of them will go into the state of sleep after a few minutes after the lecture. That's what happens. So I want you to keep yourself awake as we go ahead with this text now. Now, the first verse is the first verse of Gita. I have selected verses from different chapters, but in the same order of chapters, giving them individual topics. All right? We'll begin with the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. First verse is about dharma. The first word in Bhagavad Gita is dharma. And this first verse, dharma, sets the tone for the whole thing. Many scholars believe that Bhagavad Gita is Dharma Shastra, talking about dharma. And some other set of scholars would say it is Moksha Shastra. It is about moksha. Thank God nobody talked about his Artha Shastra or Kama Shastra. It's not about Artha, it is not about Kama. Because the four Purusharthas, as you know, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. I interpret in different way. Dharmasya artha kamat moksha. If you understand the Sanskrit. Dharmasya artha, the purpose of dharma is kamat moksha, to release yourself from kama. So this dharma, Bhagavan Krishna starts, the Bhagavad Gita starts with this. And the story, as you all know, I don't need to repeat that. The Kauravas and Pandavas are in the battlefield, and the first 10 days of the war is over. And Bhishma Pitamaha, the grandsire of the Kaurava dynasty, has already withdrawn from the battlefield. He is lying down on the bed of arrows. At that time, a report is being sent to Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra's reporter or charioteer known as Sanjaya is reporting to him that this is what has happened during those 10 days. Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, what happened on the first day? Tell me from then onwards. Therefore, the report that is being narrated by Sanjaya, even though after 10 days of the war, it's about the beginning of the war. In the beginning of the war, he says that the conversation that took place between Krishna and Arjuna. So, first of all, Dhritarashtra is asking, what happened on the first day when my children and Pandavas met at the battlefield? I'll give you a little background of how we can relate to the story and from this psychological standpoint. The Kuru dynasty was headed by Dhritarashtra at this point. The Dhritarashtra, the very word meaning of Dhritarashtra means he who holds on to his country. Dhrita Rashtra, Rashtram Dhritavan. Holding on to the fort of, or the holding on to his country. Who is he? A blind king. A king who was born blind. He represents our ignorance, ajnana. Ajnanam is andatama, is the most blinding one. When a person is ignorant, he does not know what he is doing. That is represented by Dhritarashtra, born blind. So when a person is born blind, you cannot say, from when are you blind? That is, the question doesn't arise. Similarly, when does the ignorance start? It doesn't have a start. Anadi avidya, trigunatmika para, karya anumeya, sudhiyaiva maya. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says anadi avidya. So ignorance is beginningless. It is darkness. Just like Dhritarashtra. Alright. And this Dhritarashtra has a wife, whose name is Gandhari. Gandhari. You know, there is a place in Bombay called Andheri. You know that? Andheri. It's called the blind city, dark city. I always remember Andheri Gandhari. Gandhari is from Afghanistan, as you know, Gandhar Pradesh. She can see, decided not to see, because her husband is blind. That is our mind. So our ignorance is darkness, can't see. And added to that, our mind which decided not to see because it's married to this ignorance. To those blind couple, who will be born? Dark forces, Vedas, dark Vedas. Duryodhanadi. All the Kauravas, thousands in number, hundreds in number. Gurudev used to say, it is not 100, hundreds. All our negative values that we have, anger, lust, passion, greed, jealousy, all these are all Duryodhana Parampara. Because the very word Duryodhana means Duryodhanam, meaning difficult to fight with. Yudh, you know, Yudh means to fight, war. Duryodhanam, meaning he who is difficult to fight with. He represents our ego. Ego is born out of the blind ignorance and blind mind. Arrogant, haughty, negative. So Duryodhana is the ego, and he has a lot of cousins and brothers. All of them are there. So they represent this negative Kaurava force. And they are residing in our own body, our own personality. Therefore, this personality of ours is represented here as Dharma Kshetra. Because this very body is given to us, this individual being we are, is given to us to express and exhaust our vasanas. Each one of us are born to experience what we wanted to experience due to our earlier actions, and thereby overcome our desire to anymore to continue as an individual entity. Therefore, in this physical body meant for dharma, let me clarify here. You have done an action, the result is going to come. How you face the result is decided by you. Gurudev used to say, what you have done is the action. What is going to come as a result is your destiny. How you face that result is your purusharth. You are free will. So how you face the result, that is your dharma. So this body is given to us as a product of the past. And you didn't choose it, unfortunately. You didn't choose to be here or in any other form. Your actions decided this. And so whatever you have done in the past is now going to fructify as your situations in your life. You have the choice to suffer it or to face it. When you want to face it, you must have the right knowledge to face it. And if you do not have the right knowledge to face it, you are very likely to become victimized. So this kshetra, because why he calls this as a kshetra, in 13th chapter he will explain, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate. Idam shariram, this body is a kshetram. As a cue to that, here in the first verse itself he says, dharma kshetre asmin sharire, in this body, which is presently fully occupied by whom? Kurus, Kauravas. Because as you know the story, Pandavas were thrown out through some, very unethical means, playing the game, thrown out. Now when they came back to reclaim this land, they said no, not allowed, fight. So this kshetra, this body, which is meant for dharma, to perform our activities righteously, to overcome our own inner imperfections, presently we are not allowed to do that. Why? Occupied by Kurus. Kuru kshetre. So they are samavetaha, belonging to the same family, yuyutsavaha, yuyutsavaha, meaning yodhum icchanti. They are ready to fight, wanting to fight and win over. And Dhritarashtra, how does he refer to them as? Mamakaha. Even though he is supposed to behave same with Pandavas and Kauravas, for Pandavas lost their father, they depended entirely upon the king for all support. So Pandavas felt that this Dhritarashtra is good to us. But what does he say? Mamakaha, my children, Pandavaha cha. Between me, my children and Pandavas, Kim akurvata, what happened? Hey Sanjaya, please tell me. Dhritarashtra not only was blind, but also blinded by his attachments. In spite of he knowing that Duryodhana is so evil, he could not give him up. He could not stop supporting him. In fact, when Duryodhana told Dhritarashtra that I am going to play a game with Pandavas, my uncle Shakuni is going to help me to defeat them in wrong ways. He is going to do something. You better don't open your mouth. And tell Bhishma also to do the same thing. He had no daringness to go and tell Bhishma about this. He told his father. And since Dhritarashtra was so fond of his son, he went to Bhishma and said, whatever happens at the Sabha, you just keep quiet. Don't say anything. If you say anything, I'll quit this kingdom immediately. And Bhishma Pitamaha, unfortunately, has given a vow to the world. What is that? Whoever is in the throne, I will support. Whoever it be. And there was nobody else. Pandu died. And unfortunately, this blind king is the only person who can be a king. Because he decided not to be the king. And that also his vow. Remember that. He won't marry, he won't be the king, and whoever is in the kingdom, he will support. So he was caught. So in spite of the derobing of Draupadi, all the atrocities that were happening in the court, he was dumbfounded, could not say a word. All because of the attachment of this Dhritarashtra to his son. That's why he says, Mamaka. What do we take from here? Attachment causes extreme calamity in our life. The basic problem of most of our life is we do not see things objectively in our life. No doubt, in our life we may get so much attached to our own children, our own power, position, authority, profession, and other things. But at the same time, these attachments should be in such a way that we should not lose our objective perceptions. Your own son, your own daughter, when they make mistakes, no doubt you may have to, consider them, but not with attachment. Because once you do not see things objectively, you will be spoiling that individual. You will not be able to correct that child. You will not be able to discipline that child. You will not be able to, even in situations when you are involved and when you are attached to the situation, lose your objectivity, you will not be able to correct the situation. That is the reason why in the profession of even medicine, if the person who is to be operated is your own relative, they say you should not do it. Don't they do that? Is your own child or your own husband, your own wife, you are not allowed to touch that body. Why? Because there is a possibility of losing your objectivity. Similarly, here we see Dhritarashtra lost his subjective perception. He took side of the Kauravas, and thereafter he and all the others, Drona, Bhishma, and all the people became enemies of Pandavas. So is in our personality. When we become so attached to our own anger, lust, passion, greed, jealousy, etc., because many times we see when we want to achieve something, by shouting at people we may achieve, by working against them we may achieve, by jealousy, by greed, by many other such negativities we may achieve our own ends. In the process, we do not even know that there are possibilities of achieving the same thing through right ways. Let us say that a person who has certain authority in a company or so, shouting at people and getting things done, and he will not consider anymore that it is wrong. Even at home, when I am the breadwinner of this home, and you better listen to me. And even if he is doing wrong, because he has been using the wrong method of anger, authority, he doesn't even know that he is doing wrong. Doesn't it happen in your life? So like bribery and other things, it has become a norm of that. That's why in India, whenever you want to get anything done from Government of India, what you have to do is Government of India undertaking. That is the only way to get things done. And that has become a norm now. It's our Guru, they call it a speed money. Suddenly your files will have wings. You will start flying instead of crawling. Why? It has become this Government of India undertaking. So when it becomes a norm, it is very difficult to correct it. Similarly, in our own personality, when we are used to our anger, when you are used to our own wrong ways of thinking and doing, we don't even know there is an alternative. Great masters, Mahatmas, they always said that why there is a necessity for satsanga and Mahatmas, because they show you the other way around, which is difficult to start with, because that's not the way you do things. But when you know that there is an alternative, which is the most peaceful path, most integrated and joyful path, it may be difficult in the beginning stages, but you can definitely achieve what you want to achieve through that. Not immediately, it will take time. That is the path of Pandavas. But then there is a war. When you start applying your spiritual principles, there will be war, even at home. I don't know what is happening to him. He's going to Geeta classes nowadays. If you say nowadays you are going to Chinmaya Mission or Vedanta class, your friend will ask, what happened to you? Your wife is not listening to you properly. Some tragedy at home. If you go to a temple one day, it is fine. Every day you go, the priest will start wondering, what is happening to him? You know, it is said that one beggar used to be there near a temple, and one man used to come, a young man, used to come every day to the temple, putting $1 on his plate every day. So he used to be very happy with this guy, looking forward to this person. After some months, that fellow started coming only once a week and putting only 50 cents. Then thereafter he came only once in 2 weeks, putting only 25 cents. So he got very wild once when he came. He said, hey, you used to come every day earlier and put $1. And he used to be very happy. And after that it became 50 cents per week and then 25 cents per month. What's happening? So he said, when I was putting $1, I was a bachelor. When I started putting 50 cents, I got married. When I put 25 cents per month, I got children. So the beggar got so annoyed. He said, you are running your family with my money? So, when you start applying your spiritual values, war will begin at home. Not to talk of war will begin in your own mind also. Because you are used to certain habitual ways of thinking and doing things. Now, because of your understanding of Vedanta, you may try to change your way of thinking and doing. That will surely bring about certain unpleasant thoughts in your mind, or in other words, there will be some friction in your thinking. That is the war. That war is unavoidable in spiritual life. Because without such a friction, you will never move forward. So just like a knife has to become sharp, it has to be rubbed against a rough surface, not on a silken cloth. It will never become sharp. In the same way, if you have to fine-tune yourself, you have to go against your own imperfections, which will be a friction in the beginning. But later on, as you become more and more strong and confident, you will find the success, true success, lasting success is only in applying the right values. So therefore, the war is just an external demonstration of what will go on here. And those who are afraid of the inner war, they will not even take up the path. So Geeta begins in a war situation. Imagine the Lord talking on philosophy on a situation where the war is about to begin. And what he did was, to start with, Bhagavan Krishna did a very, very strategic move. When Arjuna said in the battlefield, which is not here, it is not put in this collection of verses, he says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Radam Stapayame Achyuta. O Lord, Krishna, hey Achyuta, please put my chariot between the two armies, for I would like to know to whom I am going to fight with. Krishna had an internal smile, as you know him. Okay, that's fine. He took the chariot, because he is the chariot driver. He took the chariot and placed it right in front of Bhishma and Drona, and not in front of Karna and Duryodhana. That's a very strategic move he made. Because if he had put in front of Karna and Drona, Arjuna would have flared up. Grinding is these fellows, crooked fellows, they are the responsible for us to suffer in 13 years in the forest and taken away our land and our kingdom, not giving us not even one single village with 5 houses. We thrashed them down. He would have flared up in anger and he would have fought the war. But that is not what Krishna wanted. Krishna did not want a war of revenge, which was about to happen. He wanted a war of righteousness, war of values. For what purpose, Arjuna, you are in the battlefield? You should remember. It is not a revenge war. It is not a war because of warmongering, anger. It should be a war where you re-establish what is right in this country. First of all, that should happen in your mind. Therefore, I put you in front of Bhishma Drona. And as soon as he saw Bhishma and Drona, suddenly all that rage or anger, frustration that was there in Arjuna started dwindling down. He became weak. These people who are my teachers, my grandfather, they are gurus. They are my spiritual advisors. They are my archery, the teacher who taught me archery, who from the very early stage of my life, they taught me even how to walk. Guru na hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaiksham abhiha loke. Therefore, it is very difficult. Guru na hatva, not killing these gurus, even if I have to beg in this world, is better than ruling this kingdom in their blood. Guru na hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaikshamabhiha loke hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pratigdan. To enjoy the kingdom in their blood, I just can't even think about this. So suddenly he looked at others, they were all his cousin brothers, uncles, and all the people whom he knows from the very early childhood as his elders. So suddenly he became very philosophical, and Krishna knew it very well. Therefore, we see in the second verse, he says, this is by Arjuna. Tasman narha vayam hantum dardarashtran swabandhavan swajanam hi katam hatva Sukhina Syama Madhava. Tasmat, therefore, Swabandhavan Dhardarashtran Vayam Hantum na Arha. Swabandhavan, our own relatives, Dhardarashtran, meaning Dhritarashtraputran, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Vayam, us, Hantum na Arha. They are not subject to be killed by us. Katam Swajanam hi Hatva, how killing our own people. Sukhinaha Syama, how do we become happy? E Madhava. No, Krishna wondering, why did you come to the battlefield then? For what purpose? You know that it is your cousin. It's your own teachers are going to be standing there. What happened to you right now? See, most of us, when we become suddenly spiritual, there must be a reason. This is called Smashana Vairagya. Our Gurudev used to say Smashana Vairagya. When somebody near and dear or a friend suddenly gets, dies, and suddenly you go there. She was there yesterday, she was there, was alive and kicking. Today, gone. What did she carry? Nothing. Our life is so temporary. Nalini idalaga dajalama ditaralam tadvajividamadiṣaya chapalam. Suddenly you remember Bhajagovindam and all those. Viddhivyadhyabhimanagrastam lokam shoka hadam cha samastam. It's like a water drop on a lotus leaf. It is so temporary. Suddenly you realize. How long it stays? 3 days, 4 days. After 4 days, you are back to your routine. Forget about it. So this is called Smashana Vairagya. Only 3-4 days. So Bhagavan Krishna wants to make sure that the temporary Vairagya suddenly which Arjuna now got into is permanent. And to want to make sure that also the very purpose of the war is not cruelty, violence, killing. If had that been the reason, Krishna would have just with one finger he would have finished all of them. He did say that. Later on he says, I would have done it. I don't need anyone of this. That was not the intention of Krishna to come to the war. And that should not be the intention of Arjuna also. And so when he starts crying, saying that, how can I kill my own people and enjoy the kingdom? Secretly, Krishna started smiling. Now he is coming to terms. But he doesn't want to openly say that now I am agreeing with you, but he says, what are you talking? Why do you say that this war is not necessary? The very purpose of you waiting for so many days is to fight this war and get back to your kingdom. It is to introduce to Arjuna the problem called me and mine. When it comes to our own idea that I am important and what I possess important, my own relationships are important, that is where you are stopping your progress in your spiritual life. I, you. This is a major problem there. The I is such a strong fort. All our actions, all our responses to the world are centered upon this I. I get it, I want it, I love it, I hate it, and in this country, I is the most powerful. That's why even in English language, you put I in the computer and move, immediately it becomes capital. You seen that? It won't stay alone as small I. Truck, it will become I, big. The individuality is so strong. I say, I want, I am important. And unfortunately, the education system, the whole thing is you. So I often tell the parents that many of us who are in a relatively affluent society, whatever our children want, we just keep on giving it to them. And as the child grows up, I want my own computer, I want my own TV, and his or her room is full of whatever she wants. And let us say that child is getting married to another person. There is no question of sharing. My TV, I will watch. You watch your TV. You work in your computer. I have my own car in your car. My bank account, your bank account. Then what happens is, individuality is so strong, there is nothing called adjustment. If you don't adjust with me, get out. So this I is a very important enemy or very strong enemy in us, where there is no possibility of sharing, compromising, accommodating others. So here, when you look at I and then my relatives, my people, then you are stuck with that. That's why he says, Mama bhandavan hatva katam sukhinah syama tasman vayam nar vayam hantum dhardrashran swabhandavan narha. So here, Bhagavan making it clear to Arjuna, so long as you look at the world from your own individual standpoint, you won't even know the defect that you have. The enemy is within, and the impurities are within. And you consider the impurities and negativities as a characteristics of your individuality, and never think them as alien to you, you will never be able to fight them out. Do not look at them as cousins and teachers, look at them as enemies of what is right. Even though they are your relatives, even though with them only you grew up, but they have become enemies of what is correct. I am not saying you should kill them, but you should correct them. When you can't correct them, eliminate them. So this philosophy of Krishna is not for violence or warmongering. Many people think, what you are Krishna, no? Such a cruel person, he was teaching Arjuna to kill everybody. That was not the intention. How many times he went back and forth between these two parties. But finally, there is only way the others will understand is by punishment. So here he says to Arjuna, later on he will talk about that. Presently, Arjuna is therefore unable to move ahead in his war because of his me and mine. Me and mine. As much as in our own life, how difficult for us to overcome a habit. Is it not? Early morning, without that one cup of that coffee, you will not even get up from the bed. Whatever be your habit. Is any habit coming with you, has come with you when you are born? Has it? Were you born with a coffee in your hand? No. So all these things were picked up by you over a period of time during your own life. Sometime you picked it up and then it became part of you, and now you can't think of getting rid of it. So are our ways of thinking, our values. All these are all not born with us. They are picked up on the way. If they are picked up on the way, we can reject them on the way also. But they are very hard. As you know, habit, the very word means, if you remove H, a bit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. If you remove B, it remains. It is so difficult to overcome. And we are habituated not only in our lifestyle or other things, but even in our thinking we are habituated. And some people say it is genetic. I wear the same jeans as my father. Sometimes it is true nowadays. The same jeans also you wear the same as your father. But that is not true. You can overcome. That is what is called Vedanta. You can change your ways, even though it is hard. Without doing so, you never expect then tomorrow to be much happier than today. So me and mine, no doubt, are the, bondages. That's why Swabandhavan, he says. My bondages it is. So you have to overcome. But here Arjuna, like any one of us, is incapable of doing that on his own. Therefore he submits to Krishna saying, please teach me overcome this. I am your student. I need to know what I should do right now. As we read the next verse, verse number 3. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha Prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha Yachreyasyan nischitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam Te aham shishya. Te to you, aham I, shishya, disciple. I am your disciple. Simple Sanskrit. Shadi mam. Mujhe shadi karo. No. Shadi in Sanskrit means to instruct. Shadi mam. Teach me. Huh? Don't take it suddenly Hindi or Urdu or something. Prapannam mam shadi. Prapanna means I who has submitted to you, surrendered to you. Prapatti means surrender. Prapannam, surrendered. Mam, me. Shadi, instruct. Instruct me, I am your disciple. This is to show first and foremost requirement of a disciple is to surrender. And ask for instructions first. Though the teacher, Vedantic teacher, as I said, does not instruct, he will only inspire. He says, please tell me what I should do. What is that you want? Yat shreyah syat. That which is shreyas, that which is the most appropriate good for me, yat shreyah syat, if there is anything that's going to give that is good to me, good that will happen to me. Te aham shadi. Yasreyasyat nischitam bruhi. Tell me for sure this is the way to go. Now why you want that? Because I am dharma sammuda chetaha. My mind is confused about dharma. And therefore aham prichami. See the first verse. First line. Prichami tvam. I ask you. Why? Dharma sammuda chetaham. My mind is incapable of understanding what is dharma. Yes, shreyaha syat. That which is good for me. Nischitam bruhi. Please teach me for sure. Shishyaha te aham. I am your disciple. Prapannam mam shadi. Instruct me who has surrendered to you. Why your mind is not able to understand what is dharma? He says, Karpanya dosho apahata swabhava. By swabhava, by nature, Arjuna is a warrior. And he is referred as Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means he who wins over wealth. Any war event he won. That's why he is called Dhananjaya. And he was such a great archer of his times, it is very unbecoming of him to say, I cannot fight. It only shows that he is now incapable of remembering his own skills. Why? Mama swabhavaha apahataha. My nature has been taken away. By what? Karpanya doshat. I am overwhelmed by emotion. Gurudev calls it as, this is a depressive syndrome. Depression syndrome. Because the first chapter is Arjuna's grief, Vishada Yoga. Arjuna has become depressed. He had all the skills of a warrior. He had every, talent to win a war. And even the enemies were very afraid of him. But at this moment, he lost all his abilities because of one factor, emotion. In today's world, management science says that is a major factor in decision making. You might have come across the word emotional intelligence. There are such books now written. In today's world, the executives are not selected based upon their IQs. They look for EQs. IQ is intelligent quotient, as you know. How smart you are, how quick in your thinking, how much you are informed, how skillful in your answers, etc. But that was the past. Today's management world is looking for how emotionally you are balanced. For in a management world also, you have to deal with people's emotions. It's not just the decision making out of some data that is available to you. The decision taking based upon data sheet is of the past. In today's world, the human interaction is given so much of importance, and it is important that you should inspire and empower your employees. Without that, there is a possibility of so much of attrition. People jump from one place to another. It's not because they are dissatisfied with their jobs, they are dissatisfied with their boss. Most people jump from one place to another, not because they are unhappy with the work. They are unhappy with whom they work for. So the executive, as you move up in your ladder of your own professional world, you must learn the skills of handling emotions, not only your emotions and others' emotions also. I'm not going to talk on that subject now, but emotional imbalance is that which creates so much of indecisiveness in our mind. Let me clarify one thing here. There is a difference between decision taking and decision making. When you are given some XYZ options, and among that you have to choose one, that is called decision taking. I am given a choice of A, B, C, and among that I have to take one. In most of our exams are all objective type. They give A, B, C. One of them you choose. That's different. But decision making is you take your own decision and make it work. That is called decision making. And any successful person in this world, in any field, must or will face the situation where he is not given any options. You have come across such situations where you have no options. When you have no options, you have to make it work, whatever you choose. Arjuna was put in such a situation. No options. He cannot run away from the war, and Krishna would not allow him. You have to fight. You choose to fight and make it happen. That is called decision making. So here, he says, I cannot make the decision. Why? My swabhava is apahataha, gone, disappeared. Karpanya dosho, but the defect of emotional imbalance or overpowering of emotion. Apagata swabhavaha, my swabhava is gone. My warriorhood, my ability to fight the war is disappeared. Therefore, tvam prichami, I ask you, dharma sammuda chetaha, my mind which is deluded about dharma. Now you see, Arjuna na karma sammuda chetaha, parantu dharma sammuda chetaha. He does not know what to do. It's not that he does not know what to do. He does not know how to do that. He knows he has to fight. If he doesn't fight in the past, there is no question of he walking away without fighting. Either get killed or win. To walk away from the battlefield without fighting was not a choice. Though he would prefer that, but in heart of heart he knows that that is unbecoming of a warrior. Therefore his question is, I have to fight. I have to wage a war against these people. And in my heart of heart, what it says, you are killing your own people. You are killing your cousins. You are killing your gurus. You are killing your own uncles. How you will be happy at the end of this whole thing? Therefore, there is an inner turmoil that is going on, that I have to fight, but I do not want to fight. This emotional disturbance is going on. Therefore, you tell me, what is dharma? So, karma is what you do. Dharma is how you do it. What is your intention? An action by itself cannot be judged unless you know the intention. Our Gurudev used to give an example. A soldier in a battlefield goes on killing the enemies, and when he comes back home, he is given a medal. The same person with the same gun, when he kills his neighbor, is punished. Why? Same gun, same person, same killing. Why he is punished? What is the motive? What is your intention? While in the battlefield, your intention is to protect the country. Here, your intention is to loot the enemy, loot the neighbor, or out of jealous, or whatever be the reason. So, therefore, intention of an action is what is referred as the dharma here. Dharmam chara satyam vada, when it is said in the Upanishad. Speak the truth, do the right thing. Now, in this context, one more clarification. We are, many of us, during our own professional life, etc., we know how to do things right, but we do not know how to do right things. When we are given an instruction, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, we just follow that. That is the way of doing things right, as instructed. But is it the right thing to do? Do you ask that question? When you ask the question, is it the right thing to do? That is when you are thinking about dharma. Is my intention right? When you don't ask the question, you are just doing karma. Like you are a wife or a husband or a parent, whatever it is. Hasna band ho gaya, husband ho gaya. So therefore, you are a husband or you are a wife. As a parent, who taught you how to be a parent? Is there any special course to be a parent? Any special course to be a husband? Any special course you undertook to be a wife? Did you? Is it not all these include various responsibilities? Who taught you what is your responsibility to be a wife or a husband or a parent? What is that you learned? So on the way we learned. By making mistakes, somebody will become victimized because of that. Many times, when I go and stay in someone's house for a week-long yajna like this. Once I was there in one house, and the lady of the house, she was traveling with me, taking me to satsang and all those things, and cooking at home, so many things. Last day when I was leaving, that husband of that, he never attended any of my talks or whatever. So he asked, Swamiji, when are you coming next? I said, are you talking positively or negatively? No, I'm seriously, I look forward to your next visit. When are you coming? I said, how does it matter to you, first of all? Tell me. You never attended any of my class. You never, So what is the point? No, one thing I'll tell you. Is she around? No. Only when you are here, I get nice food. So, you might have cooked food and tested on him, and finally you became all right. So, in this way, in many of our responsibilities, we put somebody into a victim position. How do we know what is our responsibility? Who teaches us? See, when you are in a professional world, you have to go through the skills before you enter into the field. So, you see, in life, when we have to take certain decisions, we must find out, is it the right thing to do? Otherwise, we will be efficiently doing the wrong thing. We don't even know that. So, here is a position where Arjuna asks, what is dharma? Does it take me to Shreyas? As you might have known, these two terms are there, Shreya and Preya. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. In Kathopanishad, it comes clearly. These two things come to your life, Shreyas and Preyas. Preyas is not a Preyas car, that car that they have produced, that hybrid variety. Shreyaha means good. Preyaha means pleasure. These two come to us in our life in everyday situation. A path can lead you to pleasure, comfort, luxury, etc. Good is another path which take you to further your own progress towards your own freedom. These two, Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. Only a dhiraha, intelligent person, can distinguish this. And he chooses Shreyas over Preyas. So here Arjuna is asking the question, please teach me that will take me to Shreyaha Prapti. That will be ultimate good to me, and if I go ahead with the war the way I want, it will definitely give me Preya Prapti. I will get my kingdom because I am sure about my skill. I can kill them and I will get the pleasure and comfort of a king. But I will not be happy. So tell me that path which will take me to Shreyas. Yes, Shreya syat nischitam bruhi. And dharmasya pantha, the path of dharma is Shreya Prapti. To gain the right thing or to gain the highest good is the purpose of dharma. So in your life, you can do things right. You will get all the pleasures and comforts and name, fame, power, position, authority, all things you get. But dharma marga is when you're doing the right things. In the beginning stages, it may be difficult to do that. But sure is Shreya Prapti. The inner freedom you get. The peace and inner contentment you will get. Therefore, Arjuna is asking, please teach me what is Shreyas. He could not take a decision, he collapsed. He said, I can't. Kandivam samsrade hasta tvakchaiva paridahyate. My bow and is falling away from my hand, the whole body is burning and mouth is parched, dry, and I see bad omens all over me and I cannot think of anything, and he collapsed. He should have been given depressive medicine. But Bhagavan Krishna, what did he do? Smiled. Sometimes when you are crying, somebody is smiling, it will be very, in fact, very annoying, and very angry it will make you. Prahasanniva Bharata. He's just smiling. Because this is exactly what he was expecting to happen. Sometimes, you are in front of someone talking and you are expecting that fellow to say something, and that exact same thing that person says, you smile. I know. This is what you are going to say. The same way, Arjuna, when he collapsed, Bhagavan smiled. This is what I expected. In fact, that's good that it happened now. Because in the middle of the war, suddenly if you have felt that, then it will be very difficult to talk to you at that time. Many people ask this question, Swami, 700 verses, how much time? Even to chant, it will take 3 hours. When the Geeta Jayanti is coming, some next week or so. You chant all the 700 verses, it will take 3-4 hours. And Bhagavan sat in front of the battlefield, stood in the front and went on talking to Arjuna. And what were the others were doing? Watching? What's happening here? What is happening? So I tell them, in this context you must understand, he might have conveyed this message so quickly to Arjuna, not necessarily 3-4 hours. And Bhagavan is capable of stopping the time also. So he could bring the sun up and bring the sun down. So what is the point? Everybody would have felt just a flash over 700 verses. Probably gave a flash drive. So 700 verses in one shot, it is over. So we will see the teachings of Krishna tomorrow. And this is a very important portion which we will see, because he begins his first instruction saying, Ashokaha, you are not supposed to worry about the situation now. And the last verse which Bhagavan completes with Ma Shucha, don't worry. Therefore, many scholars have said that Bhagavad Gita is Ashokopanishad. Upanishad that talks about how to be free of worry. Don't worry, be happy. What is that? Hakuna Matata. Don't worry. How to be free of this worry. Some people in this world, whenever I talk about this worry, I'll talk in detail tomorrow. Don't worry. So, so they say, Swamiji, how just not to worry? It's difficult. Because if I don't worry, who will worry in my life, in my family? Nobody worries. I am the only person who worries. That is my prime responsibility. I've taken it as my responsibility in this family. Worry. I have to worry. One lady came to me and said, Swamiji, if I am not worrying, what else should I do in my life? I have no other thing. So worry has become that's a time pass. Somebody said worry is like sitting on a rocking chair, keep rocking and moving, going nowhere. You're not achieving anything out of that worry. Keep on rocking. You'll be doing something very actively, achieving nothing. Krishna says, first thing you should stop in your life is to worry. Most unintelligent way of living is to worry. Worry is directionless thinking. I will talk about it in detail because that is the one which really takes away all our energy in life. If as you grow old, you are becoming more and more sad, it is because you do not know how to manage worries. A man of wisdom is one who is free of worry. And that is a secret he will give tomorrow. So I have to end with the suspense, otherwise. I remember once I was giving a talk, and then in the card they have put, the so-and-so Swamiji is coming. So the person who was introducing people have to be very careful. Sometimes they just read whatever is there in the card without even thinking. So this person introduced me. So we have the great pleasure of having the suspicious presence of Swami Ishwarananda. I was shocked. I did not know what they have printed in the card. I said, bring that card, what they have written. Instead of A, they put S. Only one letter mistake. In the suspicious presence, I felt like I'm going under the table and coming out. So we have to stop with the suspense here. Okay. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ